Texas is on fire. My gosh. All kinds of stuff going on down there in Texas. Jasmine Crockett, along with her fellow Democrats, just decides not to show up and somehow forfeits her gig. That's what the governor of Texas is saying right now. The governor is like, okay, you guys are out. You cannot just not show up for work. Like that's not how it works. I get it. You didn't want the redistricting that we were about to engage in, but instead of coming and talking to us and voting on it, you just leave. You flee to Illinois. And so now Texas is moving to arrest any Democrats who fled the state, as well as any Democrats who stayed behind. So if you're a representative from Texas right now and you're somehow involved in this and you've refused to show up and vote on this redistricting, well, they're going to go after you. It's a big deal. Here is the governor speaking about his intention and what he would do with anyone that was just there in the state that he can get his hands on. He says they're out looking. They're out looking for him as we speak.
So that is correct. And Will, as we're talking right now, Texas Department of Public Safety officers are on the streets looking for those Democrat House members to arrest them and to take them to the Texas Capitol and hold them there until a quorum is reached.
All right. And then, and that may, I'm not sure how many, can you tell me how many different representatives that we're talking about are in the state of Texas? I believe you're 6 short right now of a quorum.
I just want to stop that for just a second, guys, because that's like a big deal, what Abbott just said. He said that they are out looking for them right now, and they will arrest them. So I think it took the anchor just a minute to process that. Okay, so you're going to arrest them. Wow. And then what happens? Do you haul them in and say, okay, you know, we need to have a quorum. We need to have enough of you here. Let's listen to the rest of it.
Quorum. Would that number bring you to a quorum?
So that's the fact that we don't know yet. We don't know which Democrats remain in the state who are not yet identified. We don't know exactly how many are out of state. But know this also, Will, and that is the Texas Department of Public Safety is also working with officials in other states to find ways in which we can try to arrest the Texas Democrat members in other states and bring them back to the state of Texas.
I mean, this is crazy, right? I mean, this is absolutely nuts. It's like, guys, you could have avoided it if you just showed up for work. I mean, it's turned into a whole social media stunt that they've engaged in because they want to get attention on this one thing that they don't want to actually have to do. The answer is you got to win elections. So as far as Texas is concerned, they're kind of just all fired from their jobs. Here is the announcement on that watch.
The motion prevails. The Sergeant-at-Arms and any officers appointed by her are directed to send for all absentees whose attendance is not excused for the purposes of securing and maintaining their attendance under warrant of arrest if necessary until further order of the House. Members, under the rules, while the House is under a call, any member who wishes to leave the hall must have written permission of the Speaker. The chair is providing written permission to be entered in the journal for each member registered as present on today's roll call to leave the chamber and return tomorrow at 1 p.m. Please return at the appointed time. Mr. Guerin moves that the House stand adjourned until 1 p.m. Tuesday. Is there objection? Chair hears none, and the House stands adjourned.
Okay, but they're still not there. They're still not there. So they don't have a quorum. And for some reason, they all think, the Democrats think this is fine. In fact, they're patting each other on the back. They think they're like total heroes for doing this. Jasmine Crockett's all over MSNBC. She actually admitted to something, saying that, you know, this is outside of redistricting. This is just requiring ID. She said that her numbers went down when they required ID. I'm like, oh, honey. That's not saying much for you and your numbers, right? But, I mean, she's on MSNBC complaining about this one. She let it slip. Here we go.
There was a benefit to shining a light on what it was that they were trying to do in the dark in Texas. So unfortunately, we've seen our numbers fall now that they have these voter restrictions in place. But I do think it's important for us to have the conversation around the...
Okay, you've seen your numbers fall. And you don't like that the redistricting is about to happen because, you know, I get it. it's not going to work out for you. I mean, you're going to be out one way or another, Jasmine Crockett. I think that's sort of the moral of the story on this one, regardless of what happens, unless for some reason the Supreme Court makes some kind of decision that they can't do this, you're going to be perhaps redistricted out of your district. You know, when it's the other way around, we hear a very different chorus from these guys. It's all about representation and fairness and this, that, and the other. But when the Republicans come back and say, hey, we want some representation and fairness too, suddenly it's a dictatorship. That's where they're heading with all of this. Anyway, Jasmine's very upset.
But I know that this legislature did ask us as members of Congress to confirm our addresses. I don't know how many of us actually still reside in the districts that we represent. I do not currently reside in my district based upon the plan that has been drawn, which is another red flag, in addition to courts consistently looking at how many people have been moved.
Yeah. Sorry. It was fun while it lasted, right? She's like their big new star. I mean, I think they'd be smart to get rid of her, honestly. I think this would actually be the Republicans doing the Democrats a favor. I mean, they'll take care of the little Jasmine Crockett problem before anybody else on the left needs to actually deal with it. If only that had been what went down with AOC, right? Maybe they wouldn't find themselves in the position they're in. Anyway, the Texas story is a big deal, and it's continuing to dominate the news cycle now because people are saying, hey, is this really going to be able to go through? I mean, it's an interesting sort of legal maneuver, if you would. I do think it's also a social media stunt of sorts, right? And this is something that another one of my former colleagues, gosh, we got a lot of my former colleagues on the air today. Anyway, Tommy Lahren made an interesting observation about it. I want to share it with you. Here we go.
First of all, the Democrat Party has been reduced to essentially a social media stunt at this point. That's the only way they can get any attention. It's not through legislation. It's not through ideas or policy. It's through stunts, whether it's getting arrested at a press conference or outside of an ICE facility or skipping work to go to Illinois. Also, the hypocrisy here for Democrats now to clutch their pearls when Republicans play the same way that they've been playing is really rich. Please spare me. Also incredibly hypocritical. Democrats had no problem for a 4-year span of time importing millions and millions of people into blue sanctuary states and cities to pad their numbers, to pad the census. But now they want to cry wolf and they want to cry crocodile tears because Republicans want to draw new maps in Texas. Democrats would do it every single time. They don't like it that Republicans are playing the same game. We learned from you. We're going to be cutthroat like Democrats, and we're going to win where we can.
Yeah, I mean, what I see is...
So, telling it like it is. She's a good egg. Anyway, the point is that they don't have really any which way to turn. They've lost this battle. They're very angry about it. So, sure, they're going to go and pull every stunt they possibly can. And, well, the GOP is doubling down. I mean, you heard Abbott saying, okay, if we find any... We're out looking right now. If we find any of you, that's it. Game over. You're being arrested. You're under civil arrest.